thanks everybody for coming on. This is the first time we had 5 people. We never had 5, so we'll see how this goes. So we don't hopefully no one talks over each other. So Justin Starling, thanks for coming on. We actually have a 450 rider on the review pod, so thank you. Thank you to Dave, Scott, and Aaron as well, as always. Yeah, so Atlanta day race. So I almost didn't watch it. I kind of waited and watched. I didn't want to watch it because it was at 3:00 in the afternoon, and but I was like, man, I don't know. I'm pretty addicted to. I wanted to. So, Starling, how did you start the day? Being a day race, how much different was it than a normal 7:00 main event?
Yeah, well, you have to wake up at 5:30. That part's not fun. Sleeping the night before was a little bit tough. Just knowing that you have to get up that early. Yeah, so it's like 5:30. Me and my fiance, we left the hotel, get to the track at I think we got there like at track walk because we had track walk the day before as well. So the next morning it was like we could go up at 6:30 when track walk was starting, and we kind of had already walked it. So it was weird, like walking the track, and it still wasn't like the sun wasn't up yet. So that was kind of, I don't know, it was weird. I didn't really like it. The morning's rough. The first practice, you can't see anything because the sun's like really shining like in your face through one of the sets of whoops that we were just like, I didn't even think I jumped them, or I don't even think I sent them into the last lap of the free practice because I was like, I can't see, so I'm not gonna take the risk. But yeah, the morning's rough, but it's nice getting out of there. We were pulling out of the track at 6:30 in the afternoon, and we were able to get home by midnight. So I guess I can't really complain too much, but yeah, it's definitely weird when you do the heat race and it's like midday and it's super hot out. So,
Yeah,
and they had fireworks and you couldn't even see them, so it was kind of strange.
So this is for anybody. What did everybody think of the track? And then Justin, I have you come to the end like as a rider, but what as us as spectators, what did you guys think of the track layout? Start with you, Mets.
I don't know. I didn't like it too much. It didn't seem like it was very good for passing at all. It seemed like it was one lined, and I don't know. I didn't like it too much from watching on TV.
Yeah, I thought it flowed real weird. Like I've never ridden at that level, but I couldn't see myself like getting into that track. Like it felt like it was like 3 different tracks all like kind of thrown into one big speedway track, and there's no way I could have picked that track apart and made like 20 good laps out of it. It would have been like every lap there'd have been something that was just weird.
Yeah.
The dirt it didn't look like anybody was hooking up too well.
No.
I thought it was cool from like a fan standpoint, like the minute 30 lap times and stuff. The double sets of whoop, the two whoop sets were cool. I'm sure it was really tough. Like the sand section was cool too, man, because like some of those guys like that pass that Hunter Lawrence made on I don't know if it was Thrasher or Smith or whoever, or Deegan, like through the sand that one time, dude. Like he was just like on rails going through the sand. I thought it was cool watching that section,
The sand section was by far my favorite. Like watching Webb pass, he passed somebody on the outside.
Anderson.
Like tripled that sand. That was a cool section. Yeah. But yeah, that one was cool for passing. Once people started like launching into it.
And Justin, as a rider, how was it going? Like, how were the whoops and just different points of the track?
Yeah, I hate speedways. I hate them.
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. I don't look forward to Triple Crowns. And then I don't look forward to speedways. So I'm pretty happy that all those are done now. Now the speedways are like, I don't know. Daytona's like, I don't know. It's like my home race. I used to live 15 minutes from there. And that track's, I feel like, a good speedway track if you're going to do a speedway. But like Atlanta, I don't know. Like the first set of whoops after that wall, like I talked to Chase about this yesterday. they're just too steep, like for what they were given with the dirt and the rain. They just made them too steep, and that's why they were like, just kind of eating people up. Like the first time practice, I had a Kawasaki come cartwheeling across, and I was in the other lane, coming the other way after the sand section. There was a Cowie flipping into my lane from the whoops, and I don't know if you guys could see, but that was kind of happening all day. So like that was kind of strange. And the other set of whoops, like you can't really put a set of whoops into a flat corner like that. It's going to just no matter what turn into jumpers. And yeah, you can skim, but the dude that skims is just going to end up turning wide, and the dude that jumps is going to turn under, and it just doesn't really work. Like, yeah, there was some good passes there because that was kind of one of the only passing spots you could kind of make it happen. The sand section before the mechanics area I thought was really cool. I actually enjoyed jumping that wall to flat and then like trying to figure out a different rhythm you could go through the sand. And the option actually was usable in both ways. And then the next sand section, I actually struggled so bad with that one, just trying to remember what jump I was on after the big single at the end of the sand. And I kept messing up that whole rhythm. I could not figure out like where I had to be to get over the top of I mean, it wasn't a 5-footer because everything was super small, but I don't know. It was just kind of a strange track to me. Extremely one line. Passing was miserable. I mean, I wasn't passing a whole lot of people anyways, but it was just, I mean, I felt like I followed Harlan for 15 minutes because I just was like, one, I wasn't aggressive enough, but I just couldn't figure out where to do it because he had better points than me, than I had better points than him, but they were on opposite sides of the track. So, yeah, I don't know, just a very one line. There was only 2 bowl turns. I softened my back up all day because it actually got pretty rough. The track also made me realize I don't want to ever race outdoors again. So yeah, it was. I'm not a fan, but then you ask like Grant Harlan, he loves it. So it's everyone has their own opinion. Yes.
Yeah, I heard some riders saying it was such long lap times that they couldn't remember what rhythm section they were on it sometimes.
Yeah, I just struggled with that one rhythm because it was just like it kind of seemed like the sand was changing every lap, so it changed how you jumped off that roller. Like you could either jump really far or you didn't get a good run through the sand and you had to back off of it. But really the track was just kind of one line in every rhythm. Like one rhythm before the wall, before the whoops, like for a couple laps in the main event, get out of the ruts where I was going like everyone went like 2, 3, 3, 3. I was going 3, 3, 3, 2. And then another one you could go 2, 3, 4, 2. Like there was like a couple little rhythms there, but like the main one was just 2, 3, 3. So I mean that was kind of easy to remember that one. And the other one you just went 2, 3, 4. Then you're out. And then everything else was just. I don't know if you guys saw the video that Cade posted where it was like Barsh was like there's 7,000 singles and this and that. That's kind of how it was. There was just a bunch of singles everywhere. It seemed like in like the finish line section, you just on off 3, double,
Yeah.
So times were, I think, not as close as I thought they would be, but it just depends on how fast people go, I guess, around the rough track on a stiff bike. So I didn't love it. I'm happy it's over. That's the best way to put it.
It definitely, like, they didn't have those like bully 180 corners, where I feel like a lot of the cool passes like happen. And like it was kind of strange, like watching people go through that whoop section with that flat corner afterwards. Cause like, dude, even the top guys were like laying back because nobody wanted to shoot out too far into that flat corner.
Yeah.
Because it looked
and that rut was so deep by the end of the main, like even halfway, that I don't know if someone maybe hit something that made it like there was like straw, it seemed like, in that section, or maybe that was like on the base of it or of the ground. But when you roll over that little bump before you stepped on, that was just concrete. Like it was so slick. Like when AP lapped me there, he went through that rut and like wheel spun in case jumping onto the table, and it was just like, I don't know. That was just a weird section to me. I don't know. I didn't agree with it. I think the most fun part of the track was that big double, and then it was like little rollers after where you went like triple double, and like you jump really deck. I know like Barsh ran it in on rocks in there a little bit one lap before the double, triple before the whoops. That corner was so cool. Like I don't know why, but like going 3, 2 and jumping into that berm, and like there was no ruts or anything. You kind of just like slide around it. that corner was cool, and I just wish there were more bowl turns around that track. I think there was 2 on the whole track.
Yeah.
Hey, you did beat AP though in the heat race.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got lucky. I was riding terrible on that thing, and I actually went across the line in first. Like I whole shotted the thing. I mean, I got past immediately, but my front tire was first, or my transponder. And I rode terrible, and I'm like, well, I see AP coming, like he's gonna get me, and then all of a sudden he was gone again, and I'm like, well, okay, like I think I might be able to get in, and then all of a sudden he was coming again, and I was like, dude, stop! Like, where is this checker flag at? I'm over this. Like, can we just please? Like, you've got a better chance in the LCQ than I do. Like, just let me get in and just leave me alone.
Speaking of that, how much different is it when you go LCQ versus you make the into the heat race? Like, how much time or how much is it like helpful to you as a rider?
I think with like the heat this weekend, it was definitely nice to have the time to relax and let your body cool down before going again. But I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't really mind running LCQs as long as they're not like crazy hectic, because it's like a good way to kind of warm up. So when you make it out of like heat 1 and you're 450 main, you've got like 2 hours. Like it's a long time to stay like kind of going. Because I'm really bad at I'm always really bad in heat races because it took me so long to warm up. So I try to get my gear on early and like go like honestly, I'm the guy running the gear around circles for the heat races to try to get my body going. So sometimes racing the LCQ isn't the worst thing, but yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I prefer to go to the heats every time. That would be the best thing that we could do. But yeah, it just depends. This weekend seemed like it was really quick, even with making out of the heat. So
cool. All right, so bigger topic: either Webb or Tomac not making a podium, or Chase is kind of winning it.
Dude, I
Tomac.
went back to picking Sexton in my fantasy league for winning that one. So
he finally gave you some points.
Finally pulled through. He let me down like 5 times in a row, but he finally got me a win there.
Yeah, dude, he was riding good. But yeah, it was weird seeing Webb and Tomac off the box. Surprised. I mean, they battled it, but props to Chase for the win. Rode great, and everything. So yeah, Chase gets the win, and the topic kind of right now is if he didn't get penalized for that jump, he would be down to 10 points. He got docked 7 points. How crazy is that? So he's down to 17. I'll let you guys speak. Whoever, is he still in it? Like, yeah. Everybody thinks
you can't count it out just because it's like there's 4 races. Tomac's notorious to throw races away in East Rutherford. Nashville, I think the last time he raced it, he had a bike issue, so you can't really count it. But I think he's still in the main event there. I don't remember, but yeah. Then the last 2 definitely favor him. Webb is just kind of good everywhere. I don't think he's great anywhere, but he's just good everywhere, and that can put him at a win. Like just him being good. So yeah, and then Chase is phenomenal everywhere just until he hits the ground type of thing. And I hate to say that because that's who I ride with, during the week. So I don't think you can count him out. I really don't, just because that was a 7-point swing this week, and there's still 4 races. So, and if anything can happen, I mean, what if Webb and Tomac take each other out and they go 8-10? You just don't know. I mean,
you got Bam Bam getting back in there too, finished in second.
Yeah, and that's not helping.
He's gonna be ready. No, he is not gonna let him win either. So
I mean, even Ken. I mean, he really hot. Like it was really hot there, and third. I mean, he got third there, and that's a race that I really thought that it was going to be between Tomac and Chase. So I don't know. I talked to Chase yesterday, and he was riding outdoors while me and Moranz are on Supercross, and he still thinks he's in it. He's not putting himself out by any means. He says all I can do is go win, and however the cards lay, however that's how it lays. And I'm like, that's all you can do. I'm not in that, so I don't know what's going through his mind by any means. But yeah, he still thinks he can. So I fully support it.
Dude, and honestly, like if anybody can do it, I think Sexton could go out and he seriously could win the next 4. You know, like he's capable of that easily.
Well, he just has the speed at any day. Like any given time, the speed's there. So you can't argue that, right? I mean, he's qualified first, not I don't know about overall, but like he's been top of the board so many times that I'm just like, damn, dude, like the speed is phenomenal. You know, like it's no lack there. And if you add that speed with, you know, you eliminate a front end tuck or something, he can win pretty easily. So
I mean,
he's fit. He's obviously in great shape. So
this weekend was pretty. I mean, that's the telltale sign of what he can do if all the cards line up. So
yeah.
When you're practicing with him during the week, does he kind of make mistakes like that, or is that kind of more like you think it's more like a nerve thing on the weekends?
I haven't seen any. I know there was a day where he had one get off, which was a front end tuck before a double into a corner. But also, like Chambers, the Supercross track is pretty loose. Like the dirt has good traction, but it's also like if it starts to dry out and like if they don't water it at the right time, it can get pretty slick. And I don't remember what week that was before, but it was, I want to say it was like Arlington Triple Crown or something. And it was, from what I heard, it was like he was flowing, like almost like what was that crash? Detroit? No, not Detroit. Minneapolis last year, where he tucked onto that tabletop and like Anderson or someone jumped over his head. Apparently it was like that. So, but other than that, it was a jump, and you're just like, it's frustrating because he's so perfect on the bike and he hits the whoops at Mach 30, and you're just like, okay, like I'm just trying to get through him, you know, the best I can. And so no, and he does the laps. Like I don't do all of his laps because I physically cannot. He just hammers it out there the whole time, and he'll do a 20, then not even come back to the truck, and then he'll just go out and do like 3 5s in a row. You know, like I can't do that. I'll do 20 and then I'll sit back and maybe jump the last 5. You know, like maybe. So he does the laps, and so it's not like he's riding less to avoid that from happening. But no, I don't see it happening at the races. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's he rides that dirt a lot and he knows the dirt here a lot better than the dirt at the races. But he's also, I mean, he's not a veteran at this point, but he kind of is, you know. So I don't know. I don't know why it happened. I know a big complaint of his and his dad, and I've said it on Twitter. He rides over the front of the bike too much, and it's something that I know he's trying to change, but he trusts the front end, I think, just a little bit too much, and he'll tell you that. So, I mean, maybe when you're in that race pace, and it might be different than a practice track where, I mean, obviously at the practice track, he's riding with me, you know, and it's 3-second difference. So he's not racing me for a win. It could be mental side too, you know, he's leaning forward and forgetting that he needs to get further back. I can only speculate, you know, but I think he rides over the front too much, and I think his mind is, you know, just go because there's always someone right there.
Yeah. Mets, anything? I've been quiet up there.
I don't know. I don't see Sexton being in it. He was out front right off the rip, and Webb and Tomac were buried a little bit. I don't think that's going to happen the rest of the last 4 races or whatever. I don't think that scenario is going to happen, but who knows? I don't know. Webb and Tomac, I just think they know what they need to do to play the game to win.
I think a big sign will be this weekend, like how they bound from the 4 or 5 finishes. Like Chase is obviously on a high. I know he's riding tomorrow in Supercross, but he's on his high, and then you have those two where they're Webb's on a whole new front end, you know, and who knows how that's going to work on a Supercross track. And then Tomac has to go through the mindset of, I have thrown 2 championships away in this city.
Yeah.
So how strong is he in that thing? I don't know. I can't speak for them, but there's a lot of mental sides going on in this weekend, and I think however you see this weekend play is, I think how you're going to see the championship go. Personally,
Yeah. Then you got Barsha's on a high too. So I mean,
he's going home basically. He's from that area.
Yeah. And I mean, Anderson won the last 4 rounds last year. So, which, I mean, he was riding good early in Atlanta. I know he was just dead ass tired because he just had a baby and had no freaking energy. But like when he had energy, he was riding really good. So maybe you might happen. I mean, it's happened in the past. Like riders have kids and they get some like rejuvenated, like mental, like push, and they come out and do pretty well. So it might give him a little bit more fire, which could be cool.
Yeah.
Tomac's kind of had like kind of a funny season too, because like, dude, it seems like he's either winning or he's in like 5th. You know, like he hasn't had like
I saw he had 7 wins.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
If he's on the podium, dude, it's usually like him winning, and then he's had a bunch of like off podium. You know, the stuff that if he hasn't won, it's most of them have been off podium.
I feel like that's his whole career. He's either on or in.
It's true.
I agree with that.
So Sexton, Barsha, Kenny rode great, and Webb and Tomac battled. Then AP, right before he messed up in the whoops, he was coming. I think he was going to get Eli towards the end there until he made a little bit of mistake. What do y'all think? Did you think AP was going to get him? And also, Justin, do you go back and rewatch what the TV shows at all?
Let me answer first.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I do. I didn't realize that AP was that close. But I do watch sometimes some things. It just depends really. Like I think I watched a little bit of the heat race, and sometimes I don't though, because like I usually will travel like this weekend. Like we fly at 6 a.m., land back in Tampa at 9 a.m., and then I'm gonna spend the day, with my fiance, and she's gonna spend the whole day on Saturday working her butt off for me. So I try to not do too much bike stuff the next day. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends on what the Sunday looks like for travel. Then Monday it's back to the normal life.
I gotcha. So yeah, AP was there. AC had that crash in the heat race, and then he still kind of rode pretty well. I thought he was done. Then you got Dean Wilson.
Yeah, I cannot believe I can't believe he got up and raced the main. Like he looked like a rag doll.
Yeah,
I'm glad he didn't get hurt.
I know.
Yeah.
When it happened, I was like, "Damn it, dude! He's the worst luck ever."
That's exactly what I was thinking. Damn.
You just couldn't go into those whoops that fast. They were too steep. Like it just wasn't. They had a speed limit. Honestly, like in my opinion, like even I think Thrasher crashed. We can't see the ending unless there's a video somewhere that I haven't seen. But he just sent it in there, I think, and it just doesn't. It kind of just did the same thing that happened to Adam. They were just way too steep, and especially coming off a wall with that big of a gap.
Were they real dry? Also, the tops of them.
No, they had a lot of traction, and I think it would have been better if they were dry, because I think that like the first one I tried to do, like the first one was pretty like flat, but then it went straight into like a steep one. So there was no like transition to the whoop, where like a lot of the races there's like a transitional like 1 to 2 kind of thing, and it goes to steep. These were just steep immediately. So I think when you came into it, you hit it, there was so much traction that there was no wheel spin on it to like level the bike. It just it like hopped. And as soon as you hop, that's where like you do like the wheel tap thing and try to set it back down. And then it's just like at that speed, it's fair game, I guess, for the whoops to take you down type deal.
Those would have been good whoops for Pastrana.
Oh my God, he probably would have just hit him. I would have liked to see Stewart do him. I don't think he would have let off the wall.
Yeah.
Flat corner or not, he's going for it.
Speaking of Stewart, I think Malcolm said that he's going to be back. He's planning on being back for the first round of the playoff race or whatever that is in July.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I still don't even know what they
How? He can't.
That's what they're saying right now. Because that conflicts. it's kind of weird that they're conflicting with some of the outdoor national races too.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Because I think that first round of the Super Motocross is on the same weekend as an outdoor national.
No, it can't be.
Hold on 1 second.
Isn't it the same
It's
for
all
Melbourne?
one big series. So
Yeah, you're
it's
thinking
not
of World
possible.
Supercross.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking
World,
of.
yeah,
That's-
World Supercross has quite a few conflicting weeks, especially with SMX. But Supercross and motocross here in the States is not conflicting by any means. But I don't see how we can do it because it takes points.
Yeah.
He would have to win. So from my understanding, it's top 18 in points. No, sorry, top 20 in points of Supercross and motocross combined. Then they race for the last two. So my understanding, it's like a triple crown event where it's like qualifying, practice, yada yada for gate pick. Then you have the LCQ after for the last two spots. But to even get into the LCQ, you either have to be in a point situation or have won a race. But you didn't have enough points to go directly into SMX. So like from my understanding, like he cannot race SMX
Yeah.
unless he races outdoors and scores a shit ton of points. I think me and Chase and Moran talked about it yesterday. I think you're gonna need just at or around 200 points to get in. Because I had 103 in Supercross last year, and they were all telling me it was like 90 something more points to get in if they had done it this year or last year. I mean, sorry.
I wonder if he's talking about World Supercross. Then I wonder if that's what he's planning on doing.
Well, that starts in what, round 3 of outdoors, round 4 of outdoors.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know unless they're gonna put some factory car and
What-
do something somehow. But from
Dude,
my
what do you think?
understanding, he can't. That's his spot. From my understanding, I don't know.
What do you
You gotta be a Deegan for that.
Right?
What do you think from like a racer's perspective, dude? What do you think about like all this new stuff that they're throwing in there, like the whole Super Motocross thing, and like you got to have so many points, and like the playoffs thing, and like all this other stuff? I feel like from like a fan standpoint, it's kind of confusing, dude. Like, you know,
It's confusing for us. We don't understand it. Like we're not understanding. And from even what I heard this weekend, they're trying to decide if in outdoors they're going to pay 22 in points or just to 20 again. Like, they don't know. Like, do we keep saying? So they're like confused, you know. So you add that on top of us really having no idea how any of this stuff works. Like we're lost in it, and we're racing, and we're 4 rounds to go, and we're still like, so how does SMX work? You know, like what do you got to do? You know, and then people ask me, "You're going to race it?" I'm like, I don't even think I'm going to be close to qualifying. So no, as of now, you know, I don't think it's an option. Do I think it's good for our sport that Supercross and motocross will work together? Yes, I do think that's a smart thing. It's weird that it came all of a sudden when there's another Supercross championship during the outdoors. That's kind of weird to me. From what I understand, it's not a there was never like well, these guys are doing this, so we're going to do this thing, but
Yeah, right.
I don't know on that one. But I it's weird. So like in years past, everyone, you know, especially like me, I'm not a good outdoor guy, so I don't bother with it. But before it was like we were searching for something to race, you know, like we would go do German Supercross or Dutch Supercross or something like that in the off season just to make some money. And then now it's almost like there's too much to race and you don't know what to race. Like there's Supercross, there's 2 Arena Cross championships, which if you look at the payouts and stuff for those, like you can make more money racing those than you can Supercross. Then you have outdoors, which is supposed to be a better pay, but still for a privateer doesn't make sense to do them, in my opinion. And then you have SMX and you have World Supercross, and then you still have the German Championship, you still have the Dutch Supercross, you still have all these, and it's like I was talking to my fiance, and it's like, well, what do we race? You know, like after Supercross, like I'm not going to touch outdoors. That's just basically just taking money and putting it in a pile and laying it on fire and jumping around in circles and yay. So it's like, cool. So like, what do? You know, like there's options there, like World Supercross, you can need riders and stuff like that. So I think it's cool. I just wish there was a little bit more clarity to SMX, and I wish they would just throw a payout out there. Like they say that they raised the payout for Supercross heavy, and I know what I got paid last year compared to what I'm getting paid this year, and it's a $300 difference. So it's not much. And then the 250 class though is about as equal as 450 now. That's the only difference that I've seen.
Yeah.
So now it actually makes sense to ride a 250, honestly. Like I got away from it because it didn't make sense financially. And now it actually would make sense to ride it.
Have you gotten approached by any teams for like World Supercross or anything?
I've talked to a few. I was interested for a bit, and then it still is kind of going back to teams don't want to pay the riders that much, and you're almost riding for pennies, and it's a lot of travel. And on top of it, my wedding is July 29th, and it's the weekend after the second race, and don't really want to travel to France and then immediately come back and get married. I'd like to actually like enjoy that lead up to getting married. That's a little bit more important to me. So there was a lot of interest in it for a bit, but that's pretty much gone now. If something pops up for when it restarts again after a couple months, when they have that break and they're going to fill in or something, I'd be interested in that. But the first two, I'm pretty much out of.
Just change your wedding date.
Yeah. No. Nope. Nope. I seen that whole thing with and all that. Yeah. No. I'm in full support of it. Like I've done donations twice. I know what it costs to do it, and I know what those dudes are putting way more into it than I did. Yeah, the wedding you get to do, one time. So I'm full-fledged all into that. I'm not. The dirt bikes are second.
I got 2 weddings. So.
Do I?
I said I had 2 weddings.
Well, I'm hoping to do it in one.
All right. So Colt Nichols, riding pretty good. He don't have anything after Supercross, I don't think. I guess he's just kind of hoping to, but he's riding pretty good.
I bet he goes Worlds.
I bet he does too. Well, he'd have to go on another team though, right? Because I don't think Honda's part of Worlds.
I mean, he could go Rick Ware.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yep. And then the Hill brothers back to back.
There's a lot of Honda teams in Worlds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that Australian?
Yeah,
team?
I think they have the most. Right, actually, the most teams is Honda. They have
Just
the
factory,
Nils,
just-
the Firepower,
Yeah.
and then Rick Ware. You could do whatever.
Yeah. I guess I meant to say like factory Honda is not doing it, is what I'm saying.
No, I mean, but his contract's up, so it's
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any possible chance of him sticking with it for the summer. I don't think they're I mean, with Jet and Chase, that's 2 championship guys. And then they have 2 250 guys, and I think he's out no matter what.
Yeah, the Hill brothers, Malkorath, Benny. Does Benny look? So Benny's tall. How tall is Benny Bloss? Like 6'4"?
Well,
I
I'm
think
6. I'm 6 foot, and I look up at him, so he's got to
Really?
be 6'5" or something like that. He's got to be up there.
What's he look like on the track? I just feel like does he look goofy? Does he look giant on the bike?
Personally, I think so. You'd be surprised at how low of a bar bend he uses. I sat on his bike in Detroit because we were like pitted in like this like little tunnel type thing, and we were literally next to each other. And I hadn't sat on the new Yamaha, so I went and sat on it, and I was like, dude, your bar bend is like too low for me. And so I was kind of surprised at how low his bar bend was. I thought that was pretty wild for how tall he is.
Yeah. I always wondered
He's
that.
really good at whoops.
Yeah.
It's mental.
Kyle Chisholm, Norin. Who did you say you were betting with? Grant Harlan or Morans for a little bit?
Kind of both. Moran started up front. I was last. I ran into I got really close to him at one point. And then but I was like, it just felt like I was just eating roost from Harlan for 15 minutes.
Dang. Let's see. Cartwright, and then you, and then
Lesher got the old 2-smoker in there.
Dude, that was awesome. I was pumped on that.
I think you should have seen the pits, like the paddock when he came back, like everyone, even the dudes that were just racing him that didn't qualify, like it was almost like the dude just won a heat race or something. Like everyone was stoked. It was cool to see. He was stoked.
I was
That
so
was
bummed. I was so bummed for Carnell because I really wanted him to get in the main, but like hearing that bike on the TV broadcast, you could hear it, dude. I was like, oh, I missed
Dude,
that.
the first 3 laps of the main, 4 laps or so, like I was just stagnant, just riding around in whatever position I was even in. And he wasn't that far behind me, and it was just so weird just hearing a 2-stroke. I was like, what the heck is
that bike
going
sounds
on?
good.
I think
Yeah.
they
That
said
thing
something like
sounded.
Yeah.
that's the first time that a 2-stroke's been in a 450 main since like 2007. I think they said.
I think 17 years is what they said.
Yeah, 17 years.
Stank Dog
It
never
was-
made it, or C250.
He was
Yeah.
125.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was-
that's right.
yeah.
Dude,
He
he
was
had that
125 last year at Oakland.
he had that YZ250 wicked up, dude. That thing sounded nasty.
Dude, and he's got good style. Like his style
Yeah.
on the bike is so good. Like he looks so proper. Yeah, I think he rides 2-stroke better than he's ever rode a 4-stroke personally. Like I think that bike is it just suits him. But he also has to deal with a lot of things that don't work on that bike. Like the start, you can't keep it the same idle every time. Like you're gonna struggle with a start every time, and then that thing sometimes can just light up out of a corner, or the 4-stroke you can kind of lug it through, and sometimes wheel spin and all that. So he deals with a lot. So to get in the main, it's a little bit more impressive than I think people really think about getting a 2-stroke in.
Yeah. Jason Anderson pulled off, and then I didn't see what happened to Cade. Why? Do you know why he didn't finish?
Well, he had just punctured a lung,
yeah.
like a week and a half before that, and I think he was struggling a little bit with that. He's the type of dude that he's kind of like me. Like you think about health and smart, and what are you going to gain out of it? Like maybe 2 positions.
Yeah.
Like, it's better just to stop.
Anything else?
Did you guys see that video of Tomac shifting into 5th gear before the loops?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking bad.
Dude's an animal.
So does what's that kid that's on PC right now? Mumford. He hits
Mumford.
loop in 5th.
Really?
Yeah, I remember seeing it in Phoenix. He hit the triple before the whoops, and he just seemed to shifting. I'm like, okay, dude, what gear did you hit the triple in first? I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And I apparently hit him in 5th, and I'm like, dang, like I could never even consider hitting. It was tough for me to hit a set of whoops on a 250 and 4 just because I couldn't get the bike. I never had like the best team bike, so I can get the bike to pull out of the corners, but apparently he can get that PC bike will pull 5th, which is mental just to even think about that.
Yeah. Anything else 450s you guys want to talk about? All right. 250s. The Lawrence brothers, man. I mean, they're kind of making the 250 somewhat boring in a sense.
This weekend, man. He's flushed
So other than Hunter almost died this past weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
I got a little hug butt.
Yeah.
See,
Feet off the pegs,
he got
dude.
a little confused in that section too, like me.
Yeah,
It
the old
was hard to remember.
Do you
Forgot about that.
you think that's what happened? That's why he went into that a little hot.
No, I don't think so. I think he kind of mistimed that wall jump into that first little bump from the sand, not wall jump, but the sand jump where they were like tripling off of it. I think he cased that, he went to double again, and then I think he kind of just forgot how hard that next triple was, and he realized like I had to seatbounce that thing for me to get over it comfortable because it was the jumps were so tiny. Like it was almost like coming off a braking bump. So I think he just misjudged how much height he was going to get to go triple there, because what they were doing was going triple that single, double, and then triple on the big ones, and then double into the corner, and that was faster than doing the line that he was messed up on. So I think he hadn't done it in a while and realized how he didn't have the speed, and then it was just hold on for dear life.
Before that, dude, he passed Deegan in that sand section. That was like, I feel like that was a power move.
Yeah.
Some big MXGP vibes there, huh?
Yeah, he passed him and then shut him down because Deegan was trying to get past him. He just said no dice. He did.
Yeah.
Shut the
Deegan
door.
impressive.
He is impressive.
That kid sends it and goes for it and rides with 110. He rides like Barsha. He just gives it everything he's got until the finish line. Like if you don't set that dude back off, and it's pretty rad to see. And he's not scared to dice it up. But like he immediately is like, I can win. Like that's
Dude,
Yeah.
people like to talk shit about him and stuff and hate on him, but I love watching him. I love the tenacity, and I love that he gets his elbows out up against those dudes that have been racing all the vets. Like
but
he like leans back into them and stuff. I'm like, hell yeah, kid.
if he didn't have YouTube and he was just coming into the scene exactly the way he is right now, nobody would hate on him. Not
No.
a single person.
Right.
But everyone hates on him because of YouTube, and it's so stupid. Like
Well,
that is so dumb.
You know, his dad and stuff. So I mean,
Yeah, but it's
I think the whole Loretta thing.
dude,
I think
people want
Loretta
to hate on
thing
people.
pissed off a lot of people.
that bike claim thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
what set off a whole lot of people.
Yeah, that didn't help his cause at all.
No.
Hey, dude, that's what Star gets for putting a bunch of freaking rowdy parts on like Loretta's bike, though. He knew someone was going to take those things.
whatever happened to that? I know we're getting off topic here, but whatever happened to the kid that tried to claim it? Because I have not seen him anywhere.
He's still
Oh,
riding. He rides KTM now.
Is he Canadian?
I follow him. I forget his name. but I
It's
just-
like Michigan.
Yeah, he's from
Schofield,
up
Brendan
north.
Schofield.
yeah, that's it.
We got to get him on here, Elmer. Get on it.
I wonder, dude. I'm sure.
Where are they now?
I bet he'll be at Loretta's this year. Scott, maybe you can interview.
I'd
him.
like to hear where he's at now and how everything's going for him. Like if sponsor things change for him and stuff. That'd be interesting.
We got to get
Yeah,
that's a mini microphone to take to Loretta's this year.
I don't want a mini microphone. I want a big ass microphone.
Oh, you want a mega? All right, fair
Yeah,
enough.
oversized.
Don't be like Racer X. You got to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a big one.
One of those
Alright,
like old
big,
school,
big foam cowboy hat.
one of those old
Yeah.
school like Elvis mics.
We've got Tom Vial's crash.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
dude, he got broke off too.
Mhm.
Yeah, is he all right?
I was surprised it took to the 250 main for that to happen. Like I expected that to happen all day. Like those doubles were big and they were so steep.
I don't,
He is okay. I saw a video of him practicing yesterday. Heart Rat posted it, and he was riding, so he's fine.
I want to see how he does outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, our Supercross tracks are not his vibe. Like he's like I think we touched on it last week. Like there's definitely something. His bike is not dialed for our track. Like he just looks super uncomfortable.
Well,
There
you got to
is a
think
video.
he's never rode a bike so stiff in his life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those GP bikes are soft, and so yeah, when you go to a Supercross bike that you don't know, it's especially a different frame. He's riding a different frame, just in general. He's dealt with a lot of stuff.
yeah.
Especially it's gonna be interesting to see how outdoors works.
He was riding pretty good at Atlanta, and I was wondering if maybe it was because the bike setup was so much softer because of that track.
I can
But-
see it. Same with like
yeah.
Daytona before his crash.
That broke off, which was a bummer.
Suppose there is a video of Thrasher that I heard Weege say that Tommy Tenders has. They just haven't released it yet of him crashing.
I've seen a couple.
I think I sent that one video to you guys, didn't I?
So yeah, Jordan Smith, he gets second, and then Deegan gets third, and then Shimoda rode pretty good for being first race back. Max Ansie's kind of staying within the top 5, top 6, and then Henry Miller, Chris Bloss. Who other PC riders are coming back? Does anybody know for outdoors?
I have no idea. I mean, there's 2 of them riding those amateur races right now, so I heard they are DeFrancesco and Reynolds, but
Oh yeah.
hopefully Reynolds can actually make it to the gate.
Yeah,
Not like a dig, but like it
I know.
hasn't gone well. Yeah.
It hasn't gone well.
DeFrancisco, is he healthy again now? Because he got hurt too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both good. They both just raced that Cal Classic, and they both swapped motos from what I saw on results.
All right, Henry Miller, Chris Blows, Talon Hawkins. Good ride from him. Colin Park. Is he on? He's on Factory Honda, or is he on
Phoenix.
Phoenix? Okay, that's right. That's right. And then Scott, you're a buddy that you like that Braswell kid. He's doing better. He's getting better.
He's making the mains.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with Marshall Walton, dude. He got 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was kind of struggling.
Braswell, he is one that I cannot figure out. Like, I looked at his qualifying times and I was like, wow, he is off. Like, this is not good for him here. And then I didn't see Heat or LCQ at the time. And then I looked at the results and saw him get 10th. And I'm like, how? Like, how can you be that far off in practice and then go get a 10th? But I guess he's as long as you can get him in the main, he'll be fine. But it's just he's got to get there.
He's a racer.
Yeah,
It seems like he's a racer.
Yeah.
He got seventh. He got 7th in that first heat, and Hicks got 6th in that first heat too. So Hicks got 6th, and
Was that the
they
one
both
that
qualified
who crashed together? Was it Shock and Park? Were they in that heat?
Let's see.
they were not in that heat. Shock.
Oh, they weren't. So then Braswell rode good in the heat. That's good.
Yeah, let's see.
So I know those two crashed in a heat together, and they were in qualifying spot. I don't know if that was. I didn't know which heat they were.
No,
I think it was the same heat.
Park was in heat 1. Yeah, Park and Shock were in heat 1, but yeah, Park got 11th, Shock got 14th. So yeah, you are right. And then, but both of those guys qualified out of the LCQ, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, that's 2 spots. So it would have been P9. Still, I mean, regardless, you're in. I was P9 this weekend. You're in. Just take it.
I had to make some adjustments. My computer's about to die.
Tom
Not
Biel,
prepared.
he got 2nd in that first heat race too, right behind Hunter Lawrence.
Yeah, he was on a mission there in this heat race. I was bummed he crashed.
Let's see. Cody Shock, Thrasher. I didn't see Martin's crash. You might see Martin's crash, Jeremy Martin.
Maybe watch the club video. I haven't watched it yet, but maybe crashes in the. I know it was posted, but I haven't watched it. Maybe it's in that.
I know he says everything's all right, but yeah, I didn't see it.
I saw Racer X has that video of Thrasher crashing in the whoops in the main too.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So he'll be out for a while. I'm sure he'll get his knee fixed, shoulder.
He's got some repairs to that.
Yeah. And then I think Jordan Smith said he's already signed again for a Star next year.
Mhm.
Dude, what do you think? You being at the races, like, what do you think the whole Jordan Smith, like Hayden Deegan thing? Like, why do you think that they were kind of at each other's throats a little bit?
I have no idea personally. Not a single clue. I was blown away when I was watching that happen in Detroit.
Everybody.
And then I listened. Yeah, then I listened to Pulp where Jordan was on it yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever day it is. And yeah, he was blindsided by it as well, and that was where it was confusing to him. But I guess they're fine. I don't know. I was telling my fiance that I feel like Star Yamaha is like a cult, like the way that they all train in one facility and train all together, and they're all fast as heck. But there's like 10 of them, and I don't know what goes on there. And I'm sure when those guys race each other as hard as they do during the week and everything, like, yeah, there's gonna be, we all have egos, and maybe there was something said or some words said or something. I don't know, but I'm not around them in the paddock by any means. I'm usually pretty far away from them, so I don't know. I'll never go over there. I usually don't my setup at the race.
Yeah, mostly 250. The 450 guys do they train with the 250s besides Tomac? Well, Tomac's the only 450 guy right now.
Yeah, well, it's usually. I think there is only 2 450 guys, right? It's just for Anderson.
Dylan.
Tomac.
Yeah,
Dylan trains with them, but yeah, Tomac I think hops in and out because of it's Tomac. So.
Oh, so where were you out in the paddock when was it Moran's who was $20 to rev my bike?
No. That was Piazza.
Oh yeah, Piazza.
Dude, he got I think he got something happened today. The AMA
He's suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended, dude. So he's done.
Yeah.
I don't know for how long though.
for one race. isn't
Just
it?
one race, yeah.
How far
Yeah,
was that from
I
you?
was close. I was close. Dave, how far away from Piazza were we with his bike rev? The Piazza bike rev. How far away were we from that? You don't remember? The bike just revving all fucking day.
Oh, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it was close. It was outside of the garage. He was like the only one pitted outside of the garages. But I mean, I'm sure as everyone knows, sound travels into a garage and
Yeah.
it is loud. And especially when you have like a Yamaha 450 with a stock pipe, that thing is atrociously loud. It was tough a couple of times. Like I'm sitting there trying to talk to my fiance or mechanic, and then we also had our friend Tiller there, and you have to like stop talking for a second until he's done revving, and then it's like 15 seconds, and then his bike's revving. I swear his bike was hot all day. And then even when he pushed it in a fan fest, it was like you could still hear it from there. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, okay, listen, like I've been doing raffles. I have 15 jerseys on the ground here. I got a mail tomorrow and all these things like to raise money. Like I get it, you know, like it's not a cheap sport. We're not getting paid very much. So like I understand, you know, like I just booked flights and stuff tonight and it's very, very expensive. So I am all support of trying to raise money. I am all for it. And whatever it takes, rad. Would I let someone rev my bike before I go ride it at a race? God, no. But that's what he does, and that's cool. That's his way of doing it. Awesome. You just don't go about it the way he did, because all they were going to do is tell him like, hey, not here, it's super loud. You're right next to Dunlop. Like it's these dudes are like trying to change tires. All they're hearing is a bike rev all day. Firepower is right next to them. All they hear is a bike rev all day. We can't even hardly talk. They just want to shut down for that day. They were going to work with him for New Jersey and put him a little bit further out to where he could kind of do it on his own and do whatever he has to do. It was fine. No problem. But then he started this whole video thing and all that. And yeah, it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all for him. And he should have done that. That's my opinion. But yeah, no, we were very close and we heard it all day.
Did you get to rev his bike?
No, I am not touching any of that. I am not doing anything with it. My mouth is so still. I'm very thankful that Feld puts on races because otherwise we would all be working normal jobs. So I'm very happy with what we have.
What do you think if Deegan wins, suppose he's going to ghost ride it like his dad did? What's your thoughts on that?
Ooh, well, he can't do it off the jump because he's going to get a fat fine.
Yeah.
Do I think he cares about the money? No. Would it make for a good thing, like talking and video and all that? Oh my God, yes. Would he make more money at the end of the day? Probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably would make more money off the YouTube stuff from it.
Yeah. So I don't think so. I don't think he's that type of kid. I think he wants to have his own bit of identity. I don't think he wants to live as Brian Deegan's kid. I think he wants to be Hayden Deegan. So if he wants to be Hayden Deegan, he doesn't do it. If he wants to just blow this YouTube thing up and live into that, and that bike is going to be sent to the moon.
Yeah.
And Star's going to be pissed because that bike's going to be
Jumps are a
trashed.
lot bigger. Jumps are a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be dangerous if he tried to do it like his dad. Like he would get hurt. Honestly, he would end up hurt.
Yeah.
These
I
doubles
think
are big.
I think when Brian did it, he got lucky. He like stepped off at the right time.
Yeah, and it was tabletop, so there wasn't a good 7 to 8 feet straight down drop. You know, like if he wants to do it, jump the finish line, and then man, if it's safe and there's like off the berm, you know, just like rock. You know, like Bogle did it one year in I don't know where it was, but he did it after his first win. I think it was Toronto or something, and he just went around the corner and just kind of shot the bike, landed on his feet, and started fist pumping. Do that. Everyone would love it, you know. Yeah. But if he tries to do it off the finish line, that could be super dangerous. Like if someone's right behind him, or you know, there could be an Anderson situation of getting landed on like the Nations that year.
Yeah.
Or if the bike lands on something.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet they've had talk with him already of like, hey, if you win, please don't.
All right. Let's go 450 podium. What is it, New Jersey? What is that up there?
Yeah, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think I'll say Chase rides the high. It's Chase, Eli, and Barsha. That's what I'm going to go with.
Give me a second. You guys go. I got to think about this one.
I'm going Tomac, Webb, Barsha.
Okay.
Hold on, Dave, you go first. I'm looking at the track map quick.
Look at it. Man, Tomac is not good in Jersey, dude. He is not a freaking city boy. I think he bounces back though because he knows he has to. So I'm gonna give it to Tomac and then Barsha Sexton.
Okay.
I'll go Sexton, Webb, Barsha, Tomac 4.
Man. Woo. That will stir some things up for sure.
That would put the points tight right there.
It looks like they got a pretty small loop section, so I think I'm gonna say Sexton, Barsha, Webb.
Man.
I think Sexton's strong point is the whoops, stronger than everybody else.
Yeah.
So if there's less
Mhm.
whoops, I feel like it's gonna even the field out a little bit more.
You guys got to remember that they're calling for like a shit ton of rain this weekend, though.
Barsha.
No, Sunday.
Oh, not on
It's going to
Sunday.
be on Sunday. No, we're good for Saturday. From what I've seen, we should be fine.
Sweet. And I'm in Kentucky, and it's like Friday, Saturday. They're gonna get pounded here, so
Yeah. No, from what I've seen,
that'd be
should
good.
be fine. I'm going to look right.
Over in Pennsylvania, I know it's raining Saturday.
All right, 250 can't say showdown. 250 showdown. I think the what you call it? The brothers, I don't think they'll go 1-2. I think
don't
they'll
think so?
kind of
Man, I think they will.
How do
Really?
you not think that?
Yeah, dude. They're gonna go 1-2. I'm just curious who else is gonna be on the podium with them. Because I
They're
feel
gonna hold each other's hand and cross at the same time. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
like
it's going to be RJ, I think.
you think RJ in third, or you
Yeah.
think RJ in second?
Well, if you guys say 1-2, I'll say RJ third.
I think
But who do you put in front of who, Hunter or Jet?
At the same time. They wait and they both jump over at the same time.
It would be Jet Hunter because Jet's got to get closer to getting a points championship done, and Hunter can win pretty much regardless at this point, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hunter's
yeah.
way out in points. I know right now.
So it could fall as to where they know that, and Jet's like, all right, let's just wrap yours up. We'll wrap it up together. Or he like, let Hunter, you just win. We're here together, type thing.
I'm going Jet, Hunter, Shimoda.
No, no.
You think Shimoda's gonna beat RJ? Yeah, right now Hunter's 45 points out right now in the East Coast.
Man.
I mean, dude,
I'm gonna go-
Shimoda's riding pretty good.
I'm going to go Jet Hunter Lopes.
Ooh,
Oh.
Mixing it up.
I think the track will be a little softer, and that dude's good.
Yeah. He'll be on a factory team, I think, next year.
I see it.
Jet. Actually, I don't know, man. I'd like to see Hunter beat Jet. I don't know if it's going to happen.
One thing I think that's going to help in Hunter's favor is he raced this weekend, and it always helps racing more and getting in that flow of racing. I know Jet's phenomenal and can win at any given day, even if it's 6 months later.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to help Hunter a little bit. But it's also Jet, and I think Hunter's going to be thinking more about the championship rather than he's going to definitely thinking more about the championship than the race win. I 100% believe that. I don't think he's going to care about trying to send it for a win. He's going to want that championship.
Yeah.
I think he's also, no matter what, second best there at no matter what. I think he can run Jet, but I think at his, just saving it for the championship, I still think second that's where he's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets second, he's still not losing any points to any of his competitors. So,
Well,
I mean, it's really not a big deal, right, to him.
Yeah, is there 3 races left for him?
We got
Is this weekend Nashville, Salt Lake, right? Denver's a
Denver.
west round,
You got a Denver in there too.
but Denver's west.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'd say so.
Is Salt Lake East?
Yeah.
No,
so,
no.
East west.
yeah.
It's
New Jersey, Nashville, Denver, Salt Lake City.
Salt
Yeah.
Lake's the new Vegas, Matt. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
What are
I'll
they?
be
Worst
there.
place to do it, east west. It's the smallest track.
I know.
I
I
was-
like it there. I got ninth there last year, so I love Salt Lake, but
That's
for
awesome.
east west, it's kind of strange.
Is that your best finish?
In 450, my best on 250 is 5th.
That's awesome.
I'll
As a racer, how do you manage some of the crazy schedules that they put you guys through? Like for a minute there, you guys were like Seattle to Phoenix, and then you went from Phoenix like somewhere else, like really far apart. Like all the series that, I mean, obviously mostly East Coast stuff, but growing up racing and stuff, it was always like I raced GNCCs a lot, so it was always like you start in Florida and you just kind of work your way north versus like this ping pong and back and forth. Like, I mean, as a privateer, that has to make the costs like astronomically more.
Yeah, so like last year I drove every race. It's funny, I bought my practice bike the week of A1, or like a new one I get to have a fresh one. And by the time Salt Lake, it had 6 hours on it. So that was how much I rode during the season. I had some press days in there, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, like last year I drove every mile but 417 of them. So driving and racing was pretty tough. But this year I've flown to every race except for Indy. I drove up to Indy because I did it just in a day. I stayed in Ohio that week and then went to Detroit. And then Tampa and Daytona. I mean, Tampa's 16 miles from here, and then Daytona 2 hours. So I drove to those. But everything was fairly easy. Like with the drivers, like we had a driver leave today up to East Rutherford. I'll fly Friday. So it's really not that bad. The part that was really tough on us was that cancellation of Oakland, and then having to go. Like I was staying in California that week for that race, so I was like pretty excited. Like I was hoping to race it regardless of the mud or the situation that they were in. Just because it would have been cheaper to rebuild the bike than it would be to take that weekend off. I flew back home just to be home, and then go from. I was excited for Tampa, and I was gonna have a weekend off where I didn't have to travel anywhere because I was 16 miles away. Where we had to literally do the bike on Sunday, which I was injured from Tampa, and then send the van off Sunday night to leave for Oakland, and then get flights and everything rebooked to go from Florida to California now instead of staying in California. So there was some parts that were tough, but that was one that definitely put a huge wrench in the budget where we were like, we're going to be low at the end of the year, and we have been, and that's why we've done raffles to try to make up the money. That was a very expensive going all the way there to turn around and come all the way back. That was very, very expensive. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? I mean, I can easily just not race, I could go do something else, or I could just not show up at that certain round. That's inconvenient for us, but I love this stuff. So yeah, if we have to travel across the states to go race the next weekend, because that's what the series is, that's all we have to do.
Hey, dude, speaking of that, I was going to say, like, if you want to, like, how you fundraise, to make it viable to keep racing, like, is there anything, like, you want to shoot anybody that's, like, listening to the podcast, like, over to, like, your website or anything where they can help fund?
Yeah, so I don't have like a website or anything for it. I've honestly just been doing like off Instagram. My plan is actually I just got a GoPro today. I'm very excited about it. It just came to start making some content like with YouTube and stuff like that throughout the summer. I'm actually going to my plan is to try to make a video this weekend of the race and just kind of see if people are like interested in seeing what I do at the races. But yeah, I just kind of was doing it just off Instagram and stuff like that. I just finished my last one because I did like a helmet and then I did jerseys and stuff like that for everyone. I have one that we're going to drop on Friday. So I have a pretty cool pit bike in the garage. It has like 9 hours on it, but I literally rode it around a track 5 laps. So it was 9 hours or literally like running around like in our subdivision and stuff. But it was like a little replica build. I did our bike last year and I'm going to raffle that thing off and try to raise some more money to finish the season because Nashville is expensive, unbelievably expensive. And the Denver and Salt Lake are expensive. So, yeah, I'm going to do another raffle through that. I'm going to do a video on it tomorrow with my new GoPro to break it in and try to learn how to do this stuff. And then, yeah, I'll start raffling that thing off. But, yeah, I don't have like anywhere really besides just my Instagram, which is at Justin Starling. I'll post everything on there and go about it. But, yeah, this sport's expensive. And, yeah, when you have, you know, a house and car insurance and health insurance and bills, the sport don't pay enough, you know.
Yeah.
We ain't making enough. So
Yeah, I think the people kind of blew the bike rev dude out of proportion a little bit. Like they were, you know, people were upset with Feld or whatever, but I mean, I do think that Feld needs to figure something out with making sure like the pay is a little bit more evenly dispersed. Like it's pretty shitty that the top like 5 or 6 dudes can make good money, but beyond that, it's kind of, I mean, if you're making a main, like a night show, you should be compensated for it, you know? Like, in my opinion.
no, I agree with that. Of course, as a rider that would love to make more money, absolutely. You know, I mean, we could put a ceiling, you know, put Steve Mathis's ceilings in here and just love to shoot for that, you know, to make. But no, I mean, we're in a hole, right? Like we have to race their series because there is nothing else besides. You could go race arena cross and it does pay more. Like it can if you are a top 3 guy. Otherwise, it probably you're not. But yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, when we make a main, I think I made $2,400 for 19th, and then it only goes up by $50 a spot, so it's not going up by anything drastic until you hit like 10th place, and then it goes up by I think like $100. Like it's not much. I know it's 14 grand to win, which is, I mean, if you think about that, that's pretty pitiful in my opinion.
Yeah, especially compared to like other motorsports, because dude, like the payouts for like, other motorsports racing is like insane, dude. And like to think that like they're barely paying, you know, like even if you're not making a main, but we're talking like the 40 fastest guys in the world, you know, we're racing Supercross, making the night show, you know, and like, man, it is pretty sad that they can't like do something better for like the guys, you know, outside of the top 20. Because honestly, dude, my favorite races to watch are the LCQs, and those are the guys that are like, and it's like, you know, the guys that are like,
I hate them, but of course,
you know, and those are like the best races, and I feel bad for the guys like not making as much money, because honestly, it's just as entertaining of racing as like the main event is.
Yeah, so I'm like, I like Feld. Everyone, like the security guard that everyone's pissed off at right now, John, he's actually a really nice guy. Like, I've never had a run on with him because I don't do anything that is against the rules. I know what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do. So I stay within those, and he's always treated me with a bunch of respect. Yeah. And all the security guards have all treated me with a bunch of respect. And it's the ones that, you know, like, oh, you guys don't pay us enough, and they stir all the stuff up. That's the ones that, yeah, he's doing his job. He's shutting it down. Like, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah. But I've never had a problem with Feld. There's things that I don't understand. Like, to have a good parking spot, you got to pay like $6 grand for the season. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to pay to park my vehicle somewhere when I park it for free, 1 lane over. I think that's kind of weird. I was talking, my dad works for the AMA, and we talk about stuff a lot. And yeah, Feld and AMA are not the same. They both run different things in the racing. Like, I don't know why AMA was brought into the Piazza thing. It makes no sense because it's not AMA's pits. They just run what's on the track. So like, that was weird to me. But like, I don't understand really why we pay such a high entry fee. like $225. I think it should be just flat 100. Like, just we'll pay $100. I agree we have to have an entry fee. I think that's necessary. Otherwise, you're going to have everyone and their mom trying to sign up, and they're going to deal with a bunch of stuff. So just do a flat rate, $100, call it a day. Cool, no problem. Like $1,700 for a season. Sure, I'll do that. And then like there's some things like with the overall pay, like top 20 and 450 class is like 10 grand. I got 16 classes and I made 11. So I'm like, okay, so where's the price difference there? And there's some things there I don't really understand with that. But the payout for the race, like, yeah, should it be more? Yes. But I don't know if this is true or not. I've heard it a few times. It sounds true to me. Is like Supercross is literally just funded by monster trucks. Like, that's where they're getting the money to fund Supercross, and then they're making just a straight profit off of Supercross. And do I know if it's true? No, just speculation, what I've heard. But I have no truth to that by any means. I would love to go drive 45 minutes down the road and ask these guys at Feld, like, hey, how's this work? Because I'm not understanding. But you have to respect it. They put on a great event. Like, our races are cool. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Do I want to stop racing it? No. Am I going to walk away because they don't pay enough? No. If I want to get paid more, I should go faster. Or I should make YouTube content. I'm going to try to go faster and make YouTube content. Like, it's just where this sport has gone to. It's content is king these days. And there's kids out there making unreal money that don't even make night shows. And I'm sitting here like, how in the heck are you doing this? But it's because they're just good on social media. Mm-hmm. I'm 30 years old. I'm not good at social media. I'm really bad with all that stuff, but I bought a GoPro to like, hey, maybe this will make me better at it. I bought this creator edition where it has a mic and a camera or a light and stuff. Like, I'm going to try, that's all I can do. Right. But that's just where the sport's gone. It's, you make your money outside of the racing, and the event is just a way to make the money off of the content. Like, that's my opinion. Like, Moranz does very well for himself. He does very well. And he's also doing very well this year racing, but his money isn't coming from the race. It's coming from everywhere else outside because of the content. That's just what we have to do, because Feld's not going to change their way. Like, it is what it is. And like I said, either we show up or we don't. And I'm going to show up. So
have you ever thought about doing like riding schools, kind of like Catanzaro does too? Like, because he seems like he's really building that up to be something like
Cat. Yeah, Cat does very well with that. AJ has definitely built something that's very remarkable. It's a little bit tough because now he lives like 20 minutes from me, so he's kind of taken over the whole kids around here for the schools. I have done them though quite a few times, and every now and then I'll jump down to Tampa. I live 4 miles from Tampa MX. And I'll go down there for like the Tuesday night school and help do that with them, and I can make a little bit of money off of it. But it's a good thing to do, but it's hard to just train kids for so long, and then hey, I'm going into preseason, like I don't have time, and then once Supercross starts, I definitely don't have time. And these kids these days think they need to be at a facility or have a full-time trainer, and I just can't be that guy. And AJ would be so much better at the races if he didn't train kids during the week and he just rode and did motos all week. I mean, I was on track walk this past week, and his mechanic told I was working out with K-Day, the Fox guy, and he was telling K-Day that he hasn't rode since Detroit, and he's been so busy flying left and right doing school. So you kind of have to pick one or the other when it comes to that. But I think like with YouTube or some GoPros and posting some stuff up and making little videos here and there with some product, you can do that and train. So I'm going to go that route. At least put more eggs in that basket.
Yeah. Who was the guy in the LCQ that ran it into the back of the other guy in the
John Short?
Is that who it was? Yeah. That's who it was.
Yeah, it was.
I forgot about that.
Dude,
I don't know what he was doing.
Now, dude. Carnell T-boned him all. I was like, well, there goes that. So
It's just it's funny that he bypasses 2 people and takes out a teammate. Like I'm just like, dude, where are you going? Like
that was a pretty
I mean,
rad. That was a typical LCQ shit right there.
oh my god, I think like that corner came up quick on you. I don't know if he just thought he could outrace someone and then was like, oh shit, the corner's right here, and then just went to the inside, and then maybe Joan was going too close or too slow. I don't know, but God, I would not have wanted to be at that pit after that race.
Yeah.
Both teammates, man. Like, dang, I'm out.
Anything else? Anybody got anything else?
Who do you guys have for the championship 450?
I'll say Tomac, but it'll be close. It'll be the last race.
I think Tomac's gonna keep his shit together. He's yeah. You have to go with him, dude. Like
Yeah, I've got to say Tomac, but honestly I think Sexton has a better shot than Webb because I think Sexton's gonna be better at the next 4 races than Webb. I think that Sexton's just faster, and I think I'm hoping that he's like put those mistakes behind him, and he's gonna actually start getting some wins.
yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely gonna come down to Webb and Tomac and Sexton. I think Barsha's gonna give Webb some business and make it super hard on him to keep getting points because they don't like each other anyways.
Yeah, the Tomac, it just depends on. I don't think Tomac's going to do anything too gnarly, but I think Webb could, and that could really help Sexton. I think I have to lean a little bit more towards Webb, but that front end he's testing and changing with 4 races to go makes me nervous.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Any of you guys think
That
Anderson
makes-
will get one before the year
Yeah.
ends?
No,
Yeah.
Barsha.
Barsha. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
Dude,
Barsha.
I almost went Barsha for this week. I was like, home crowd, dude. He's such a mental rider, and he's already got some crazy momentum. Like he might freaking do it in front of New York.
He
He could win this one. He could very easily win this weekend.
I mean, I've talked about it before. I mean, the mental side of Supercross is something that a lot of people don't think about, and he is like, dude, he is feeling it right now. Like he is on a roller coaster, and it's going up, up, up right now. So,
I agree with that.
I think Tomac just was like, I just got to be in front of Webb right now. As long as I'm in front of him, he feels better than I just got to win. So if he's like, Barsha's out in front, all right, I'm second. I don't think he'll push it. And I think he'll be, or third or whatever. I think he just like, is Webb behind me? Okay, I'm good. And points right there.
We were talking the other week too about where Barsha was going to end up, and he just signed that 2-year contract extension this week. So
Yeah.
he's
I think the most improved player for these last 4 is going to be Barsha. He's going to be the one that's going to really mix it in there.
I forgot about that, dude. That's another positive thing. He second, third home city, and he just got a contract extension. Like his head is 100% in. So
yeah, he's in a good place right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, Justin, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody else, as always. And looking forward to watching you in East Rutherford this weekend. Best of luck to you, man. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. I need it because I'm getting smoked lately.
Hey, good luck,
Good
dude.
luck in the rest of the season.
What was
yeah,
that, Matt?
thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Good luck in the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we should do end of season. Tell us what you got for future plans or something if you haven't figured it out or something.
Yeah, you guys. I'll give you guys my number. Just call me, whatever.
All right, man.
As soon as the season's done, I'm on full break. So like, I might answer this thing with like maybe a White Claw or like a White Walker drink mix, and
Yeah,
I might
there you
not
go.
be fully there, but that's just where I'm gonna head in after the season. So
All right, man. Well, yeah. Once again, have a great race, and thanks everybody. I'll talk to you later.
yeah,
Yes,
see you.
yes.
Thank you.